We were the first one who opened the door for people like Dr. Harry Oldfield from UK, who designed a special PIP camera to film what he calls bioenergy, the energy fields that are otherwise not visible to the naked human eye. So he came to Bosnia, used his camera, and then first he filmed just a natural hill, pointy natural hill. He realized that above the hill were horizontal bioenergy fields. And he filmed a Bosnian village again. Those fields were horizontal. So he finally filmed the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Here it is, the town of Visoko. And those bioenergy fields were all vertical. This is not a new thing. We know that for about 5 years. It is on our website, so you can find out more. But then we could see that the pyramid as a whole acts as a huge energy machine, generating more and more energy here in the center of it. And then that energy got released through the top. And when it hits the horizontal energy fields, they are becoming vertical. So the whole process is like a continuing process which has been going on for thousands of years. First 5 years of our project we spent proving that we have a construction complex here. That we have a shape of the pyramid, geometry is there, orientation is there, inner structure is there, underground structure is there, the best quality concrete is there. So by 2008, 2009, we were about to ready to move to the next step. What was the next step? Let's find out what was the purpose of the pyramids. From that step on, Egyptologists or archaeologists could not help us anymore because they don't have a formal training or knowledge to answer that question. Nobody was teaching them, nor they teach their students. Archaeology is in a kind of conservative science because for some reason they think it should stay within closed circle. However, in the distant past, the knowledge was not divided in so many different compartments that we call today scientific discipline. Math, geometry, biology, and so on. Then it was only knowledge. So today, by having the archaeology only, without the access of the other scientific discipline, we don't have enough knowledge to explain the purpose. So when we had people like Dr. Mizrak, the physicist from Zagreb, or Dr. De Bertolis, and many more, who expressed their desire to come to Visoko, we really welcomed them with open heart, because we knew that they were going to produce more important information. We didn't know at that time they will get a step closer in explaining the purpose of pyramids. Dr. Mizrak first came here in April of 2010 with his 10-member team. He was the first one who measured interesting anomaly on the very top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, electromagnetic field of the 28 kHz frequency. And we saw that this frequency does not go left and right, but stay within certain radius. We knew that it was the focused energy, most probably coming from the pyramid. Of course, we have people like Goran Marjanovic and the others who are confirming them. And that research has been going on for 2 years now. This summer, we also confirmed one more time that the strength of the signal is getting higher as you move away from the top of the pyramid. Obviously, we have a base for unconventional way of using this technology. We have a way to say, hey, this is not a Hertzian technology, but something else. Non-Hertzian, Teslas, scalar waves, we need to explain that better. But it seems that this pyramid has been emitting waves for thousands of years, and it requires our full attention. Goran Marjanovic from Belgrade, electrical engineer, he confirmed the fact that we do have 28 kilohertz frequency on the top of the Sun pyramid. And there's a reason why we made this illustration, the Bosnian pyramid of the Sun with the energy beam coming through the center of it. And it probably explains in the best way that these are not only the structures, but the energy machines. And we are the first one on the planet who combine theory and practice. And we are lucky enough that our foundation has actually been running the project. A big disadvantage for the most independent scientists is that sometimes they don't have the access to certain archaeological sites, and especially they don't have a way to bring their instrumentation to measure certain phenomena. When I was working with my Russian colleagues, Professor Kavroshkin and Tsiplakov, in Egypt, we had to bribe the guards to do certain measurements on the bottom and the top of the pyramids, the red pyramids, the Meidum pyramids, the bent pyramids. In science, it should not be that way. When we published some results, then Egyptologists were asking us, who gave you permission to do that? When did you do it? Why did you? They were asking secondary questions. They were not discussing the results. Of course, when you have a phenomenon like non-Hertzian waves, the strength of the signal is getting stronger. Obviously, we are getting closer to the experiments done by the man who was born just 300 kilometers west from here, Nikola Tesla, who was doing the experiments in his lab in 1899 and 1900 in Colorado Springs. Once he invented what we today know as a Tesla's coil, he had the base for the free energy, for the unlimited quantities of energies, for the wireless technology. Once he started, sending those energy beams from one end of his lab to the other one, 18 meters away, then we knew that we had the base to have a free energy, which should be the first pillar of the free society. Just before they shut his lab down, as a matter of fact, they burned it down, he made his last experiment. He was sending the energy beam to the ionosphere, it reflected back much stronger, and he was able to light up 20,000 homes in Colorado Springs, proving that the free energy is possible. Of course, the corporations never accepted that, because if you have free energy, how are you going to make money? It was much more profitable for them to build hydro, thermal, or today nuclear power plant, and then to transport it and lose 20 to 50% and then sell it to us for a lot of money. So if the free energy is the first pillar of the free society, what is the second one? Free flow of knowledge. If there are no secrets, no hidden stuff, if the knowledge and information flow free among people, then we have two pillars of free society. Society of free men and women. And that should be the way to go. And I think the Bosnian Pyramid project has a feature or both, free energy and free flow of information. And there's a reason why we are going to have a lot of obstacles in the future. People are asking us, okay, what is that final proof which you're going to use and convince mainstream scientists or there is no final proof. Who wants to know? They will know that the pyramids are here. This is much bigger than another archaeological artifact. This is about two visions of the world. One that we live in, where we have elites who control everything, media, corporations, politics, for ages. And the other one, independent free thinkers. During our exploration, we realized that everything that's been done here, for example, the height of the pyramids, is done with a purpose. Because the lengths, the heights, they affect the energy movement, they affect the vibrations. For example, Pyramid of the Sun, when we extend the line on two slopes, we are getting the virtual top of the pyramid, which is exactly the same like the secondary wire in the case of Tesla's coil. And those lengths affect the frequencies. If they wanted to achieve this particular frequency, they had to have the certain height of the pyramid. Our friend Klaus Dona has helped us to understand better the internal structure of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun by coming last year and showing us the illustration with so many tunnels at different depths. Light blue, 5 meters deep, which ends with this circle or chamber. White, 10 meters deep. Brown, 70 meters deep. Yellow, 150. Black, 180. Red, 350. We realize that we have a huge network of internal tunnels and chambers. And then if you look closely, you can see that there is a difference between different levels. Every higher level is moved a little bit, looks like a spiral. Now, spiral is very important for the mechanism. If you have a spiral inside the pyramid, you have a base for the non-Hertzian waves. That's why we have the stronger signal moving away from the pyramid. At some point, it will get lower and then stronger and lower. But with this signal, you have a base to reach any point in our solar system, in our galaxy, and maybe further. And now we open the Pandora box again. Who was sending the signal so far away from this planet? Who were the builders of the Bosnian pyramids? With little help of people from all over the world, we realized that the Bosnian pyramid case is not the only one. There are more active pyramids in the world. The tourist from El Salvador in 2009, when he was filming his kids, he made this photo. The Kukulkan pyramid with the energy beam going to the center of it. Now we know that this photo is true. So it's not just the Bosnian pyramids, but some others that have those energy beams. For sure, they can be measured in the case of Giza pyramids. It's just a matter of when the Egyptian authorities will open for different views of their builders. When you do a little experiment, you make a replica of Cheops or Great Pyramid of Egypt, 52 degrees, 4 sides, you orient it to the north, east, west, north, south, and then when you use the Tesla's coil inside, without any other source of energy, you can detect these some type of scalar waves going through the top of the pyramid. Let's go back to something that we can see. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun has been coated with the excellent quality concrete. Just yesterday, the Austrian TV crew from Service TV, who's doing the documentary here, very serious one, went to Zenica, to Institute for Materials. They took samples from the Sun Pyramid, and they wanted to double check if what we've been telling them is true. What we've been telling them was that in the last 5 years, we've done sample analysis at 6 different institutes for materials in Bosnia, in Italy, and France. Now we know that concretes in modern times, 21st century, are in the range from 10 to 60 megapascals. That's hardness. The harder the concrete, the better the quality. So Alfred and his people took samples without our involvement, took them to Zenica, and they did the measurement. The hardness of the concrete from the Sun Pyramid was 80 megapascals. Our modern concretes tend to 60, 60 being the best quality concrete made in Germany and the US, but only custom made. This one 80. We have measured 50 different samples, and they are in the range from 73 to 134 megapascals. The ancients had formulas which we have lost over the time. But what we can see, like in the case of Sonda or our archaeological trench number 4C, is extremely hard concrete. That's what we can see in the case of our archaeological trench number 4A. The blocks 75 centimeters thick. Or archaeological trench number 10. Or number 5. This is what our volunteers uncovered this season. Or number 12. Those who are working here knows how much trouble they had trying to go through these extremely hard concrete blocks. So now we have pyramids covered in excellent quality concrete. Why? So the energy that's been creating at the bottom will not go left and right and leave the pyramid, but will go focused to the top. The Bosnian pyramid of the moon, this is its structure. We have opened the very top of it. We are looking for the profile. This is the profile, the first row of blocks, clay between them, the second row, clay between them, the third row, clay between them. Why clay? Clay was used as excellent natural construction material, as a binder, as a waterproof material, as the thermal insulation, and finally as the earthquake-proof material. In the case of earthquakes, the structure does not collapse, it breathes. Here we are at the top of the moon pyramid. It's colossal, very solid structure. Underground tunnels. Nowadays you build tunnels if they are underground to connect the structures above the ground. But when you build underground labyrinth, obviously the communication was not main concern. Now we can see some of them filled with the water, and some of them having those U-type channels. If it is letter U, it means the water moves. If the water moves, it generates the energy, it creates negative ions, and we already know the benefits of negative ions. And then what we've seen in some of the new sections are the walls that not only that they are closing, they are sealing the side tunnels, but it seems they act as the support. So below the water is a clay, which is a natural compact material, which was made through the geological process of millions of years. But then, above the natural geological stuff, we have the wall. Obviously, the wall was built by the intelligent hand. And above the wall, we have ceiling. So, in some sections, we can see that there is no conglomerate material where the tunnels were built. But actually, we have the wall, and then the ceiling, or the whole sections have been made by the intelligent hands, which is another proof that the ancients were able to manipulate with the huge quantities of construction material. And then, thanks to our modern technology, we were able to detect and measure electromagnetic fields and ultrasound coming from our megalithic blocks. Someone in the past, by making those ceramic blocks above the underground waters and inside probably having the quartz crystals, minerals, they were able to generate electromagnetic fields of 22 to 30 kilohertz frequency, in most cases 28. So the purpose of underground labyrinth is not only communication or not primarily the communication. It seems it was used for the energy flows. Our friend here, Larry Bird from Chicago, when he first came with his dowsing rods, and we really welcomed all the alternative methods, when he stopped in the front of the tunnel, he said, oops, we have ley line, energy line below us. He entered the tunnels, his dowsing rods were open all the time. So finally he said, I could move through the tunnel without even looking, with my eyes closed. Because whoever built this network, they were building it above the energy lines. He comes to the intersection, energy goes left, right, and front. So it seems whoever built the biggest pyramid on the planet needed a largest underground network of tunnels that will feed the pyramid with the energy. So when it comes to the pyramids, I propose that we change what the mainstream science claims today. The pyramids were not done as the local scenarios. They were done as the original pyramids, with obviously purpose to manipulate with the huge quantities of energies, and replicas. They were building them as the temples, as a place for ceremonial sacrificing, as a nice architectural buildings, but they are just the replicas, without deeper understanding what was their real, true nature at the time when the pyramid builders were on this planet. And finally, we are coming to this project again. This is the first case that a non-profit foundation is running such a huge project. Due to the obstacles from the cultural, unfortunately, and political establishment, due to the lack of funds, I think the future of this project would be to combine even more intensively science, research, with the archaeological tourism and commercial part. And that's why we came up with the idea to build a complex which will be consisting of hotels, healing facilities, archaeological facilities, museums, conference centers, and on. And which should be the replica of the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, with the sun and the moon and the dragon forming perfect equilateral triangle, the pyramid of love, the temple of Mother Earth, looking like a crescent moon, the tumulus in Vratnica, and the underground labyrinth. Or 5-star hotels, museums, conference centers, 3-star hotels for the volunteers. Stonefields parks, and so on. About 50 million euros. So once the conference is finished today, at the end, let's get some donations and build this for the next year. And with this, I will end my presentation. Thank you very much for coming.